think one of the things we'll say before, or rather after every single pre-season game, is it's not the result, it's the performance. We got a result today, but the performance was something else, wasn't it?
I mean, firstly, before we say about the performance, I'd do anything to swap place with Parky, in the National League, and we're in the Northern Premier League, but we're not there yet. And we've got to, just try and chip away to get there. And they've been incredible to get to where they are now. And I've got no doubt that they're going to be a great side. I watched them last season. This is just pre-season. If we played them in the FA Cup, it might be a different game. All I can do, moving on to us, is challenge the lads to give a good account of themselves, to leave an impression on me, stick to the game plan, work hard, take your chances if they come along. And I think you see everything in abundance tonight. We were young, we were fit, we were hungry. I thought some exceptional individual performances, but as a team, even better. I thought our shape, our rotations, the way we shifted the ball from right to left, the way we picked up balls, the 3 behind the 1 tonight, setting midfielders to get out. I was paying superlatives at times. But that only happens when you get the intensity right. And for me, there was one kid that got the intensity right from the minute 1 today, and that was Keegan Hartley. He pressed with intensity, he pressed with hunger, he pressed with desire, and he wants to be here. Keegan's had a pretty tough time, outside of football with not making it bonds, and he loves playing for his football club. And all you can do is say, can someone go and set the tone tonight? Well, he did it on 3 occasions in front of me within 2 minutes of the game gone, and that just spurred everyone on. And all of a sudden, because he's at the pace of the game, people are giving it him on the half turn. He's seeing little runs from Max Kane. I thought it was brilliant. And then from there, we all stepped up and everyone then fed off his energy. And you've seen the energy that we put in the first half. I mean, Guy Hall's been away for 10 days and the demands we placed on him tonight were so high. Ethan as well, centre-half pairing of Jan and CJ with Pat in behind. Charlie Ennis gets better, fine wine. He's exceptional tonight. With Donners and Deck, you got Max, and then in alongside that you got Keegan and Elliott. And then people say, will it change at half time when you're making the changes? Well, you're making Charlie Munro, you're making Charlie Oliver, you're making Luke Griffiths, you're making Jay Fitzmartin, you're making a raft of changes who will strengthen us. And I've said this, if we want to compete this season, we needed that little extra bit. And I've said it time and again, thanks to everyone behind the scenes that just generate that little bit more money to fit into the line with the business plan. It gives us that opportunity to go and get them players, fishing maybe a different pond than we were doing last season. But we have gone with a different DNA team. We have gone with very young and hungry players and people who want to excite and get on the front foot and catch the eye. But with that, we've also got to be disciplined in the likes of Curtis Jones, who was immense again tonight, and Charlie Ennis. The old stages, if you will. They make sure that the younger lads don't lose focus of what we're trying to achieve at the football club, and they're just as important for me that the new signings are. So all in all, 2 games in, great performance against Barrow, great performance tonight. We've now got to go and replicate it against Clapton and Warrington and Longbridge, but you've got to go away from here happy tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it must be so difficult in pre-season because, fundamentally you're trying to shape a team for the new season. You've got players who may not be with us at the end. Basically, you've got players who you've only just met and you're getting used to. And that, there was probably 3 or 4 players who came on at least in the second half who would have been probably my first picks based on Saturday's performance.
We can't do that. We've said until we get to the Longbridge game, some people just play 45 minutes and it's important not to have the same subs. There's no point me, starting Charlie Ennis on the bench again tonight because it doesn't matter if you play the first 45 or the second 45, it's what you do in the 45. And as the pre-season schedule goes on, obviously we had 24 available. If you take Dante, who's not fit yet, Woolers, Matty Van Wyck's not here, you put them into it, there's 24 in there, and I said 24 doesn't go into 18, 19, you don't have to be a mathematician, a really good mathematician to work that out. So I said to the lads, leave an impression, but favourite line is, that Brian taught me that managers don't pick football teams, players do. And if players give a good account of themselves, there's no way I can leave them out come the 12th of August if they've played the way that they've done tonight. And I'm sure they will do throughout pre-season. And if we can be lucky, injury-free, fatigue-free, and we can keep everyone fit and hungry, I think people are going to be desperate to play for this football club and put smiles on people's faces. But at the minute, it's so far so good. And the attitude of the whole squad who've just got to know each other is A1. I'm really, really delighted how quickly they've come together.
I think that attitude is exemplified by the level of fitness that we saw. Normally, kind of like first couple of pre-season games, it feels like everyone's just shaking off the cobwebs and just kind of like it's a bit of a kind of a variety on sort of like pre-season training. Whereas today, it felt like at 95 match speed.
We were able to do that. Brian set the running sessions before they came in. They did 4 or 5 running sessions. He showed all the data on the WhatsApp group, which means that we could get straight into our shape or set pieces, which I thought were excellent tonight. Our zonal marking of set pieces. If people aren't aware of what they are, just watch how we defend set pieces. I think it's really good. We've done a lot of work on them. Our attacking set pieces really good. But the fitness levels are high. They're really high. And when they're that high, you can get the football out. I think football's changed completely where people come back and they're kind of at the back of the pack and they're throwing up and it's not a nice place. These are fit, hungry lads and they've got to, they don't get any time off now. They've got to come in Thursday, they work hard again. They've got to get up to Clapton at whatever time we've got to get up at 5 in the morning and get home at 1, 2 o'clock and then they've got to get ready for Warrington on Tuesday. So, I'm not going to make any excuse for them. There's no rest for them. But if they want to be here, they've just got to show what they've shown tonight and let them scrap it out because I wouldn't like to be Jan Palinkas, Curtis Jones or Charlie Oliver going for 2 shirts. I wouldn't like to be Munro, Donahue, Ennis or Griffiths going for 2 shirts. So all in all, they've got to fight it out and, kind of let the best man win. But if they don't win, then they've got to make sure that they're on the players' coattails because if they have an off day, I think they come straight in. And that's the competition that we've got to drive, Tim. And I don't know, I'm really looking forward to working with this group and I'm really getting to know them. And I'm sure the fans will be excited by what we can offer as well. And like I said, that's without even Dante coming into the kind of the front three yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the word you mentioned there is hunger, and that's what it looked like today. Basically, you could just see that there was that kind of desire to get the ball, get the toe in front of the guy. At least one of our goals was literally just by Keegan getting ahead of his man at that near post and just taking the chance.
And people who may not know, without Guy Hall, Keegan doesn't get in there because if Guy Hall doesn't go high on his press, Keegan can't make the run across the near post because if Guy's still on the halfway line, they clear it, they're on the counter attack. Because Guy was brave with his movement to go really high to allow Curtis and Jan on a 1v1. Keegan can vacate that space. I know it's a little bit technical and tactical, but they're the things that we work on, and some people don't see that, and sometimes it doesn't come to fruition, and it's easy to shout and moan if it doesn't happen. But there's a lot of preparation, a lot of work that goes into things that we work on, and to get Keegan across the front post tonight was what we do in training, and it's nice when it comes off. Probably the only disappointing factor of the game for me was the goal we conceded because it was so avoidable. We take the throw in, we go back in where we've just come from, we lose the first contact and they go and score. You can see, or if you watch FC United, how many times we rotate to get the fullback out the opposite side, and we didn't do it on that occasion. So, but I'll look back at the game, I'll watch the game tomorrow, like I always do, and I'm sure that I'll be really pleased with what I see. But like I said, all the lads can do is leave an impression on me, and then it's up to myself, Mike, Brian, and so on to go and get that squad ready for the 12th of August.
Goalkeeper position, obviously, Pat came in today, Pat Boyle. Another great game. I mean, he's basically there was a save basically with his right hand at a stretch, which was basically it's up there.
So to clear it up, Steve McMullen will come in next week. We've already done with Fleetwood. Pat will be our number 2 this season. If Stephen's away on international duty, and I think he will be 5 or 6 times, Pat will come in. And that's what I said to Pat. You'll be with us 8 or 10 times this season. So make sure that defence, you own that defence. Don't come in as a stranger. But he was exceptional again tonight. McMullen will be exceptional as well. But it just shows a relationship that we have with Fleetwood or Stockport or Blackburn or Burnley or Bolton. They don't just happen overnight. These relationships are key in football, and managers or clubs trust me to do well with the players, and that's the work that goes on behind the scenes. And we've not always had that relationship. You only go about 4 or 5 years, it wasn't there. So sometimes people moan about loan players, etc. Well, I don't, because it's the relationships that we have with the football clubs. And if we're going to move forward, then if these players are good enough and they fit into our DNA, and not just the good individually, but they fit into the group as well, and they're more than welcome here. And that goes for any player. And like I said, we've mentioned Dante tonight. We haven't got Young Keane out. Yeah, so that front 3 behind the 1 is going to be exciting. And that's what we want. We want people on the edge of the seats playing the FC way or playing the United way, and that's I'll endeavour to keep trying to do that. But equally at the same time, as if when we do lose the ball, we're not wide open. And I think you could see over the first 2 games, we've definitely nullified our shape. We've surrendered our shape. We've not surrendered possession, and we'll keep working on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like game 2 of the pre-season.
So it is, and how many times have you seen teams? I've said this time and again, lose all 8 and then go and beat them for 10 or win all 8, and then they take the foot off the gas. You know, this won't be an easy season. I've just said to the lads, the demands I'm going to place on them are going to be higher than any squad I've ever placed on them before, because I want to do well. You know, I'm not here to make up numbers or just to be happy if we get a point. Although I want to do well this season. You know, I'm not saying we've got to get promoted or we've got to play. I want to do well. You know, we've got to do better than we've done the last 2 seasons. And although we made progress last season from the year before, I want to make further progress this season. And you know, there'll be no one working harder than me to make sure that we get progress. And you know, them lads are going to step up to the challenge. You know, I can shout here and do everything, but you know, the staff are working so hard behind the scenes. Little things we've done this year, and you know, just getting the iPad in, getting all our tactics on the iPad, the work that we're doing on the TV screen. You know, in terms of our preparations, key. There's loads of things that people aren't seeing that we're doing differently now, and that's just, it's galvanised us. It's galvanised us. It's give us a real opportunity to go and work with a new group of staff and players, and I can't wait. You know, every session now can't come soon enough for me. So we put this one to bed tonight. Congratulate Regan. Brilliant to see him tonight. You know, no doubt he'll go and fly in the National League, and I still back him to go higher than that. All right, we nullified him tonight. Kurt Jones and him have a ding dong, but that always happens. You know, Regs is an exceptional player and goes with our best wishes, and we want to wish that to Parky and to Altrincham. For us, Tim, good night. Let's get ready for Thursday night, and then let's get ready for Clapton on Saturday.
Okay, and one final question. We're running a poll on Twitter at the moment about obviously the fixtures are announced on Thursday, big day for us, and the first game of the season obviously is going to be sort of like mid-August 12th.
August 12th.
Fans are currently voting basically. We're given the option of local derby at home, local derby away, a sort of new team at home, or a long distance journey away first day of the season. What would you choose?
Probably anyone, as long as we win. You know, I think it's 13 years now. So, no, you know, listen, if I'm going to be really selfish, you know, I think a great spectacle for the first game of the season will be Macclesfield, you know, but everyone's going to want that, aren't they? But I just, you know, Rob was here tonight watching the game. That's what I want. But I just want anybody. I just can't wait. And I love pre-season. Can't wait for Thursday when the fixtures come out. Once the fixtures come out, we can start identifying people to go and watch other teams. But anybody, you know, and what I don't want the lads to do is feel too much pressure going into that first game. You know, I know there's a lot of talk around winning. Let's just make sure that we're all together, we're all striving for success, and we can pick off these teams as the season goes on. You know, whether it be Macclesfield first game or Worktop or Radcliffe or Atherton, you know, whatever it will be, we made the best team win. We just want to have a good season, Tim, and we're doing our work behind the scenes now to try and prepare us for a good season.
Well, if today's anything to go by, it's a good start. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers, Tim.
Congratulations, Keegan. You're the FCUM Radio Man of the Match. Good performance all round, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it. All of us knew what we needed to do, and yeah, did it to a T.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the pitch is in fantastic condition, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's class, honestly. Yeah, zips. Yeah, couldn't ask for it any better.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell after the first sort of 10 minutes, because it's always the same in pre-season, basically. You've got a load of players who are coming together who don't quite know each other. Everyone's not played football for a few weeks. But within about 10, 15 minutes, like, you know, you, the rest of the midfield, were all kind of just pinging that ball around, sort of had a good feeling for where each other was, and it was a joy to watch.
Yeah, we got used to each other. We've only had a few sessions with each other, like 4 or 5, but obviously we're just picking up little bits, and we'll get used to it. It's only the second game, so if we're playing like that now, then it can only get better.
Yeah. I mean, we're playing a team from a division above, basically. You know, generally we find that we play teams from divisions above, though always that bit bigger, always a bit quicker. But I think our sort of like speed of thought today made the difference, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And even though there might be a few leagues above, I thought we played them well. They didn't look it the way we played. Obviously, we good movement and good finishes, clinical as well. So yeah, really good.
Yeah, and you were sort of playing sort of like in that sort of forward 3, weren't you? How did you find that position?
Yeah, off the right, off the left, and then I enjoyed it off both, and then got a goal as well to top it off.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like it got a bit. We were up in the stands, so it looked like it got a bit of a deflection, but you got to it first, which is the main thing.
Yeah, got to it. Don't know about the deflection.
Well, we gave it you, so basically it's not our own goal, basically. It's definitely your goal, so you know that's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of basically sort of the way FC play with that sort of like the 3 and then the 1, It gives you a lot of fluidity and sort of like ability to sort of move around, doesn't it?
Yeah, defo. There's obviously space behind the midfield in front of the striker to just a bit of freedom, do what you want, get on it. Obviously, you lose it, win it back. Yeah, that's what we want, freedom, and then go show some magic up top and get some goals.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, in terms of sort of fitness as well, I mean, I think we were just having a conversation or put in the media gantry. We were saying this is probably the fittest we've ever seen an FC side start pre-season. Normally you can see there's a bit rusty and kind of getting up to speed, but it was almost at game speed.
Yeah, defo. When we came in, first session, bleep test, everyone dreads it, but everyone were up to speed. We're class, yeah. Everyone got the target that we needed to get, and everyone's come back in really good condition.
Right, fantastic. Well, I mean, none more so than yourself. You won the FCUM Radio Man of the Match. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.